Right now you will learn to make my oxtail stew that will turn the leftovers into a pappardelle dish and a super hearty soup. I'm cooking a dish tonight that is really special for me because it's my dad's favourite dish, and he turned 87 2 days ago. So I am cooking him an oxtail stew. But I'm adding an extra 5% magic in this dish. So what are we going to do? First thing is we've got to buy some oxtail, so you might want to go to your butcher, give them a little bit of an advance warning that you'd like some so they can get it in and cut it into good sized pieces. Season with pepper, and I'm using herb salt, but you can use your favourite salt. Into the tray and into the oven, and let's get that Maillard effect. That's the scientific term for getting that caramelization and flavour starting in this dish. Whilst oxtail is in the oven, I'm going to chop up 2 celery stalks, 3 carrots, 3 garlic cloves, and enough leek to fill 3/4 to 1 cup up of sliced leek. Those are the veggies going in. And about 3 tablespoons, maybe it's about 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. The trick is when cooking with olive oil is not to allow it to smoke, because you'll turn it into a carcinogenic oil. And I can see it's hot enough for it to sizzle now. So in go our vegetables, and we'll just give them a stir up. We're going to saute these off until the onions and leeks and things begin to soften. You can see how the leek has started to soften up, and all the other vegetables. It's been about 6 minutes. I'm going to turn the heat down now, and in goes the flour. The recipe's in the description below. Mix that all around like that. It's about 5 minutes. 2 cups of red wine, and I'm scraping the bottom of the casserole dish. If you like this casserole dish, I got it from Briscoe's. I'll put the link below. Now I can turn the heat back up again. 1 can of whole peeled tomatoes or chopped tomatoes. Now for the magic in this dish, a generous amount of thyme or rosemary, 2 bay leaves, and then this, the spiced fig seasoning, recipe in the description. It is for my spiced fig cocktail, but in here it is just genius. Generous grind of black pepper. Pour in 3 cups of hot water or beef stock. I'm lucky I've got my own beef stock paste, which you can buy from the supermarket too. You just squirt some of that in there, and then that'll last in the fridge until you want to make beef stock again. But at the end of the video, I'm going to use the leftovers to make an oxtail pappardelle, and I'll use some then. Oxtail has been roasting in there for a good 15 to 20 minutes. And now it's time to put them on in with all this goodness in our casserole pot. And I'm turning the oven down to 150 degrees C. Before it goes in the oven for 5 hours, 1 teaspoon of herb salt. Description below where to buy it. In the ideal world, I would have put that herb salt in when I put the stock in, but I gave it a mix around. The oven's at 150 degrees Celsius. Well, I've got 5 hours to kill, so I've got my beans ready, and I'm going to have those with some butter and shaved Brazil nuts over the top. There's the water. Hey, and I'm going to do mashed potato. My recipe's worth checking out. Check it up above, and it'll take you to the link to the recipe. See you in 5 hours. This kitchen smells just incredible. Always try and trim as much of the fat off the oxtail before you cook it if you've got fatty ones. I didn't have really much fat on mine, but you see there's a little bit of fat coming to the top of this. skim as much of it off as you can. There we go. And whatever's left, I am going to make a pappardelle, but I think we'll give it a good nudge tonight and get rid of that thyme out of there. Ditch that. But look, this is just falling off the bone. Look, it's just going to melt off the bone. Beautiful. These types of stews are always better the next day, just like a curry, always better the day after. Anyway, I've done a mashed potato. I'll put some chopped parsley in there. That's going on the plate. I've done some beans as well, which are just blanched in some salted water. I was going to shave some Brazil nuts over the top, but I completely forgot. So they've just got butter on them today. And there's that beautiful oxtail stew on the bone. It's delicious. I've got some leftovers. I'm going to show you shortly how to make the pappardelle and a soup out of it. So yummy, and the soup is a great one for freezing, by the way, too. I'm going to show you how to make the spice mix, and that comes from my spiced fig cocktail. So I'll do that recipe for you sometime too. Anyway, makes me pretty hungry. It's early hours of the morning here. I'm not an editor, I'm just having a crack at this. It's good fun though. I'm getting there slowly. What do you guys reckon about my editing skills? Just for a plain old cook. The oxtail.
Well, I was 10 minutes after breakfast time. I started looking forward to this. Look at that perfection. It's just falling off the bone.
Is it Sauté?
Magnificent. Great flavours. I nearly ate the glaze off the plate as well.
Let me show you the magic we put into our oxtail. It's a simple blend of ground herbs that we put into a jar and give a bit of a shake up at the end. So we need 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger, a pinch of cardamom, 3/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. If you've got whole nutmegs, then give them a quick grate up on a sharp grater. 3/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. If you've got whole cloves, just pop them into a spice blender or a blender and blend them up until you've got a powder. Finally, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Pop a lid on, give it a good shake, and try not to look as ridiculous as me. If you're lucky enough to have some of your oxtail left over, pick it off the bone, and then I'm going to do pappardelle. So, pappardelle, I'm using Gault's Deli egg pappardelle. It's made with eggs, beautiful pasta, and I've got some frozen soya beans or edamame beans, and I'm going to make a soup out of those with the leftovers. Bring your leftovers up to the heat like that, and just before your pasta is cooked, add a little bit of the water in there that you've been cooking your pasta in. Mix that in, and so we can get it really lovely and creamy, just a little bit of butter in there, a little Parmigiano Reggiano, good old Parmesan cheese in there, make it really creamy. Take some herbs out of the garden. I've just got some Italian parsley here. Roll it up like that with a pair of scissors, just do a little chop up. There we go. Give it a shuffle around. Get your pappardelle in there. All we need to do now is serve it into a bowl and grate some more of that Parmigiano Reggiano over the top. Parmesan cheese, or your favourite cheese. It looks pretty jolly delicious. Hey, shall we have a crack at a soup? Because it's so easy, and I've still got some leftovers here. So let's have a go. I've put some soya beans or edamame beans in there. But put some peas, any frozen veg that you've got, or any fresh veg that you've got. Whatever you like. Now I'm going to get some hot water in there, and I've still got some of that stock, that good stuff. There you go. Going to give a squeeze of that in there for the just put all that hot water in there, right? So now I'm going to bring it up to the heat and look at all that goodness on the side of that pot. Want to scrape all that in. That is flavour. There we go, getting that all into that. And I'm just thinking, I've got some chickpeas and they're pretty jolly good for us, and I reckon that would be a great addition to this oxtail soup. So I'm going to throw some chickpeas in there. You might even have some cooked pasta that you might like to put in there. Whatever you like. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been fun making it. It's now 3:30 in the morning and I've been editing this, and that's not my area of skill. I'm a cook. But join in the comments below. It's good fun to have a chat. Tell me what you'd like me to have a crack at it in the future, and love you to like and subscribe. Ooh, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? See you guys later.